In the hour of 6 o'clock on June 10th, I call the village board meeting to order. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk call the roll, please? It's not? Are you sure? No, you turn it off.
There we go. All right, President Weatherston.
Here.
Trustee McManus.
Yes.
Trustee Wishaw. Here. Trustee Spillman.
Here.
Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Lambert.
Here.
Trustee Pierce. Here.
Approval of the minutes from the village board of May 27th. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of.
Sound like Nancy and Fran at the same time.
Take your pick.
Nancy can have it.
Nancy, Fran, do you want to second it then?
Sure.
Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. A public comment provided up to 2 minutes opportunity for citizens to voice their opinions to the village board. The village board cannot respond as it may conflict with open meeting requirements. If you'd like to address the village board, name and address, come up to the front microphone. Seeing nothing, we will move on. Thank you. 6A, Resolution 2025-49, authorizing village staff to utilize solar street lighting as part of a pilot project at Crawford Park. This went through the Committee of the Whole and the Parks Committee. Can I have a motion on this item, please?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-049.
Thank you. Holly and Dale, any discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. Resolution 2025-50, approving the acquisition of police department therapy dog to support the well-being of its officers, village staff, and community. This went through the Committee of the Whole on 5/27 with a 7-0 vote. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-050.
Second.
Sorry.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. Resolution 2025-51, authorizing the village of Caledonia to enter a development agreement with Newport Group Limited for a 21-lot phased Homestead Acres subdivision. Can I have a motion on this item, please?
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2025-051, but I do have a question about it.
Okay, Fran, we'll get back to you after I get a second. Thank you, Nancy. Fran, what is your question?
My question is, why are we doing it this way? As I understand it, what we're doing is rather than the village putting in the utilities and the roads, we're allowing the contractor, the developer, to enter into a separate agreement with the contractor, and then the village takes them over. And I'm just wondering why. Why are we doing it that way?
This is traditionally how subdivision development has always been done, that the private developer hires the contractor to install the facilities. Those facilities are inspected by our personnel, and then they are accepted after inspection and testing.
Okay. What caught my eye, because I read the agreement, which was not very interesting and very long, very long, was that it fascinating. Right. Was that it waives otherwise the requirement that it be put out for 3 bids. And so what I want to be sure of is that we're not paying more.
We don't pay for anything.
We don't pay
The
for it.
Developer
Okay.
pays 100%.
Okay. And so then
And then
okay.
we actually receive that when the facilities get dedicated to the village.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
we don't pay anything, period.
Okay. That answers my questions.
Thank you, Fran. Is there any other questions on the motion?
Yeah, I had,
Nancy?
oh, wait a minute, over there.
For the record, I just wanted to mention that Chapter 236 of the Wisconsin statute specifically contemplates and authorizes for subdivisions this method of having the
Okay.
developer do the work. So it's very standard across the board in many communities.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Nancy?
I think this is more, goes towards Ryan, because again, this was what, 38 pages, and we got it on Friday. So if we could move up when we get some of this stuff would be helpful. But anyway, it talks about only meeting minimum standards on page 5. Is there a reason why we would say it shall conform to the village's minimum standards for public utilities? And, I mean, it sounds like the way I read it, we're going to the least level possible. It's page 5, about a third of the way down, just past the redlining where it says July 31st. The design and plans of the public improvements, public roads, subdivision, stormwater utilities shall conform to the village's minimum standards.
I can
Sure.
address that if you want me to.
Yeah, I don't think it's meant in any way, shape, or form to reduce our typical standards. I think it's referencing our typical standards or better is probably how
Yeah,
we
just
would see
talking
it.
about the way
But
it's written, yeah.
Right. So it is, from an enforcement standpoint, it is a minimum standard piece, but my understanding that the plans and specs comply. The other part of this particular provision, and the way it's written like this, is if for some reason there's a delay in construction and construction changes over, requirements can change over time, and then they're still required to meet those minimum standards at the time of construction. So just wanted to, that's in part why the language is written in terms of meeting the minimum standards from a construction and ordinance standpoint.
I think the question really is, why do we say minimum standards? I think what Nancy is addressing is this, do we have a range of standards and we're saying they have to meet the lowest standard, but not something more than that?
Oh, not
That-
at all. So maybe it's a choice of words
think
that's
so.
causing confusion, but no, they're meeting the standards of the ordinance as a part of the approved plans and specs of your, by your engineers.
Okay, I think it's the word minimum that's That's
Yeah,
mis-
sure.
misleading there or confusing.
And maybe that's something when we look at future developers agreements, if this board has confusion over this. This has been in every I don't know how many you've seen me present before, but this specific paragraph has been written exactly the same. So under your code, let's take culverts. Let's take something simple, storm sewer culverts. Under your code, you have minimum standards for all sorts of culverts. Driveway farm culverts have to be, can be corrugated metal. Any culverts under your public road rights of way, meaning the public roads that we're building and dedicating to you, have to be concrete. So what's important is through the engineering review process, all of the standard materials that we're providing you, whether it be 8-inch sanitary main, 12-inch sanitary main, manholes, culverts, water main, hydrants, all of those come out of your code and specification book. So I think it's a word that's confusing you because
It is.
there really is, it's really more of a typical standard. And there are different levels of different sizes of pipe and there's different materials, but each application is specific in terms of backfill material, et cetera. So we do have certain specifications that are written into your code that meet what would be considered a minimum requirement.
I'm thinking if it said the required standards, that would,
Right.
So this particular section
yeah.
is a standard provision in the code, and it's really doing two things. Sometimes you enter into a development agreement before all the plans and specs are submitted for review and approval, and there might be a time delay. So it's meant to catch potentially the time delay when those specs are ultimately, plans and specs are ultimately submitted. They have to meet the minimum requirements in effect at the time that they're submitted for review and approval by the village staff, your engineering staff. So in this case, it's part of your standard development agreement. It's really not coming into play because it's all happening right now. But if the development agreement was entered into, and then 2 years later is when they actually submit their plans and specs, and in the meantime, there was some, maybe a statutory change or a change with respect to some of the specifications in your ordinance, we wouldn't want them to back up to when the development agreement was entered into to conform their plans and specs. They would have to conform at the time when they submit to those that are in effect. So that's what the language is meant to capture. So that's why the words have then in effect included as a part of the provision. So it's meant to do two things. They have to comply, and if there's a delay in the submission of the plans and specs, they have to comply to those in effect at the time they're making those submissions.
No, I appreciate that.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I think we answered that question. Nancy, did you have a different question?
Not on that one. I will say, I wasn't confused. I was more concerned about the legal language. Asphalting was my only other question, but I think, did you say at one time, Ryan, we were looking at the 4-inch on the asphalt binder? It's 3 here?
Yeah, that reflects our updated cross-section for small rural
Okay,
and
got
local
it.
subdivisions that
That's
was
all.
approved by the public, when there was a Public Works Committee.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. Thank you, everybody. Resolution 2025-52, authorizing the Village of Caledonia to execute a stormwater drainage easement with Salvador Velta. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Belita. Can I have a motion on this item, please?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-052.
Thank you,
Second.
Dan. I'm sorry, who was that, Fran?
Me, yeah.
Any discussion on this resolution or the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution carries. Mr. Wishaw, if you would, please, approval of AP checks.
Sure. I do have one comment on one of the checks in the AP run, but I'll move to, before I do that, I will move to approve AP checks totaling $2,627,534.46.
Can I have a second, please?
And there is one invoice there that I
Second.
would,
Discussion on the motion, Lee?
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's go right ahead.
I beat you to it.
Thank you, sir.
There's an invoice that concerns me regarding Von Bryson, specifically Alan Markovitz, $5,440, regarding a discussion we had in closed session a few weeks ago, so I can't talk about it here tonight, but I tried to get a hold of Todd. I'd like to discuss it with him. So once I do that with him, I'd like to find out more about what's going on with this particular subject, and perhaps I would request to be back on our agenda in closed session again at our next meeting.
I have the same concern because I've asked specifically if we were paying him and was told no. So, I mean, I don't know why, frankly, either. I don't know why he's involved at this point and why Elaine isn't doing it.
I can speak to the process. He does, Von Briesen bills us, we turn around and bill the developer. So it's just a pass-through of money going to him from
This is for Cardinal?
correct.
But I think if I understand what Lee's saying, Lee would like to have the time to
We-
meet with Todd and get more detail on the.
That will be a future subject, I promise you.
Right.
Right.
And then we can do that so that we hold that piece
Yeah.
out.
Well, I think we're going to pay it. And then,
I made a motion to pay.
yes, you did.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so all in favor of approval of the AP checks? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? AP checks are approved. US Bank credit card, Mr. Wishaw, please.
Mr. President, I move to approve credit card charges amount of $62,488.53.
Thank you, Lee. I have a motion, please, second.
A second?
Thank you, Fran. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? US Bank credit is approved. 2025 liquor license renewals. There was a list of them in the file. Did you want to speak to that before we move forward, or are you good with it?
Sure. I mean, just a quick summary. This is the first round. We will have another round at the next meeting. Hopefully of all the rest of the liquor license, I still have 3 more applications outstanding. So far, everybody has paid the minimum required publication fee and record check fees. After next week, we'll start doing property tax searches and everything, and we will do an administrative hold if anyone is delinquent in any other way. But other than that, I do recommend approval.
So can I have a motion to approve, please?
I'll move to approve the 2020, what is it? 2025, 2026 liquor license
Thank you,
renewals.
Fran. Can I have a second on that?
I'll second it.
Dale, thank you.
I have a question.
Holly, what is your question?
Why is Speedway in bold with a little asterisk?
So Speedway previously had a Class A beer-only license, and this year
Changed
they
their
are
license.
applying to be a
Class
Class
A.
A liquor. So
Got
it's technically a new application.
Are you
So will
happy?
that put us over our
I am.
limit?
There is no state quota
Or
on
CB
Class
chicken.
A licenses, and we do not have one by ordinance.
Okay, what about going to that Class B?
Class B, we do have a quota on for by state law, and we have 2 available.
We do, okay, good.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we will adjourn the village board meeting and move immediately into the committee of the whole meeting.